Hello and welcome everyone to information session on executive presence and influence. My name is Rudy Falat, and I will be your moderator for today. So welcome everyone. I'm going to wait a few more seconds until you all get in because contrary to popular belief, the Zoom security is not as bad as you think. So we're guarding everybody at the door, making sure you're at the right place. And this is a free enrollment or program information webinar or information session, whichever way you want to call it. This is a session where you can find out whether the executive presence and influence is the right course for you. This is the course from Wharton Executive Education, and it's subtitled as a Persuasive Leadership Development course as well. So welcome, everyone. I see that you are trickling in. So before we go any further, if you could remind me or tell me where you're connecting from in the chat, that would be great. And you can choose response to everyone, right? Or set it to everyone so everybody can see that. Also, if you can put your questions in the Q&A as we move along, that would be great. So in the chat, I see Chicago in the house. All right, great. And I see Boston in the house and Annapolis, Maryland. I see Singapore in the house, India, New York City, DC, Richmond, VA, also Virginia. I see Switzerland, Houston, and New Jersey, Michigan, Montreal, and Louisiana, Montreal, New Jersey, New York in the house. Again, all right. San Augustine, Florida. All right. Okay, great stuff. So many people from the US, so good morning. Otherwise, good afternoon to you in Europe or good evening in Asia. I see Buenos Aires in the house as well, so that's wonderful. My name is Rudy Falat. I'm a moderator today on behalf of Emeritus that works with Wharton to deliver this program to you. I see Ponte Vedra, Florida as well in the house. So once again, Emeritus works with Wharton to deliver this program to you. And I will walk you through this, which is a bit of an overview of what is Wharton Executive Education, in case you don't know, but hopefully you do. And then much more about this program, how that looks like from day-to-day perspective as well when you take it. And also when obviously the content, what are the key takeaways that you should be walking away from after taking this course. I will also introduce the faculty that you will see during the program and all the practical things such as financing certificates and things like that. So once again, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat. In Q&A, and we can answer those as we move along. So once again, Wharton Executive Education. So Wharton is based in Philly, but of course there's Wharton West in San Francisco as well. But what you will be focusing on, it doesn't really matter where you are based. This will be a fully online program, which is developed by the faculty of Wharton Executive Education. So once again, it's an online program. There are no elements of you coming in to Philly, but of course, now that you will know the faculty, you can follow them. And I will also show you some other resources and channels where you can learn more from them outside of this course as well. But other than that, it's a fully online program. And what's key about Wharton versus other schools? I think the sentence in the first line says it all, which is research-based programs. So Wharton likes to teach things that the faculty actually research themselves. So it's something that they can back up with their own research, and it's not just anecdotes, etc. Right? So you're going to have research-based program in front of you also in this case, even though it's a soft skill kind of program. But we all know that sometimes the soft skills are the hardest thing to actually achieve or have or perfect. And in this case, perfect, right? Because I'm sure that you will be already quite experienced leaders and managers, but you just want to get better. So I see first question here. Someone's asking about you can be away for some part of the course. I will talk about the kind of a day-to-day structure of this, and you will see that there is a lot of flexibility built into that, right? So we know that you are busy professionals. There will be opportunities to adjust to your schedule. But of course, at some point, it needs to finish, right? So if you have some week that is difficult for you, that's not an issue. If it's more than that, then you should tell us, and we'll work it out. But of course, at some point, we want to finish because everybody wants to show their digital certificate on LinkedIn, right? So, but in general, don't worry about this. There's not going to be anybody with a stopwatch saying that you are 5 minutes late with an assignment or anything like this. So why are we here, right? We talk about executive presence and influence, and that's also related to what? To leadership, right? And we know that the demands on the leaders of today and present are increasing all the time. And you see some of the stats here. 26% of leadership presence accounts for what it takes to get promotion, get ahead at work, right? Also, at the same time, you see 63% of millennials report a lack of leadership development opportunities. So it is very important to get ahead, but many people say that they don't have opportunities to improve their leadership skills, and also that's related to executive presence and influence. So that's part of leadership. At the same time, executive presence skills are ranked second in top 20 leadership traits that make a difference. So presence, number 2 out of the leadership skills. Many people say, more than half of the people, they don't have enough opportunities to improve. And also, it's very important when you want to get promoted, not only to be a CEO or something like this. So this is why we're here. It is crucial to work on your executive presence and influence. Yes, some people are born with it, but many people need to improve on it and perfect it. And there are ways how to do it. And as I said before, when we look at this, Wharton's faculty is well known for its research methods, right? So the faculty that I'll introduce in a second, they have done a lot of research on what could work so that you improve your executive presence and influence. At the end of the program, and I will show you or I will talk about it module by module or week by week. This is a 6-week program. This is what you should take with you. You should enhance your mindset and behaviors and presence as an impactful leader. You should understand critical principles of effective leadership. You should work on your rhetorical strategy that you use and employ to advance your ideas. You should work on your strategic networking. I know a lot of people talk about networking, but how do we network strategically and still stay true to ourselves? In other words, stay authentic. And then, of course, it's all about you. This is personal, as personal as it gets when it comes to presence, right? So how do you create a personal leadership narrative to advance your goals? All right. So also, if you cannot watch the entire session live, there will be a recording as well, and there will be slides provided to you if you registered. And of course, we will reuse this and we'll put it on YouTube also. Program experience. So how will that look like from day-to-day perspective? So one thing to remember, and I'll keep on repeating it, this is a mixture of asynchronous and live sessions. So in other words, these are video lectures that are pre-recorded. So they will be released to you on a weekly basis. So you don't get all of them at once, but you will need to work with your peers from 1 week to another. But also there will be live sessions. But the live sessions are not lectures, right? You should watch the videos whenever it suits you. It can be before work or after work or whenever you have a free moment. And then when you come to live sessions, ideally you have already a bunch of questions lined up for the faculty or your course leaders. So think about this as a mixture. There will be core knowledge that is pre-recorded, and then there will be live sessions to complement it so you can have a Q&A, some FaceTime with the faculty as well. A lot of that stuff that you will see here, or all of it, will be as practical as it gets, right? Research is a good thing, but it has to be hands-on. It has to be practical. So you will see plenty of real-world examples in the videos or brought up by faculty in live sessions. There will be assignments and case studies that are practical hands-on experiences or examples that you can use also in your real life, right? In your real world. And we will have polls and quizzes, playbook activities, and capstone to work on. And then, of course, you can network with your peers because that's a great, great opportunity to meet people from other countries, other states, other industries that you can learn from as well. And for this, you will have a Q&A forum, which your course leader will moderate, but you can also learn from one another there. So program experience, the key thing to remember is practical as it gets. And then it's a mixture of recorded lessons and live sessions. And then, of course, there will be weekly assignments to do. Any questions so far? I'll pause here for a second, see if there are any questions, or are we all good? Or if it's all clear, you can tell me in the chat as well. All right, so it sounds like it's all clear. So, all right, good. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Magdalena. Okay, all good. So, Ernie, will the assignments be team-based or individual? I believe there will be individual, but there will be plenty of opportunities to network with your peers, right? But the certificate is in your name for you. So there will be obviously a lot of focus on your individual contribution, but there will be ways to cooperate with others, that's for sure too. So here's a bit of a overview of or bios of the two key faculty members you will see in those videos and in live sessions. Michael Usim is a PhD professor of management and faculty director of the Center for Leadership and Change Management at Wharton School at University of Pennsylvania. What I'd like to highlight also is he's a prolific author. You see a list of books in the second paragraph that you can check out if you want. You can find them on Amazon or any other bookseller that you like. They're great, great books on leadership. And this is something that could complement what you're going to learn here. It's not a requirement. It's not a textbook, none of them. But none of them are textbooks, but you obviously are welcome to check those out. He's also a co-anchor of the weekly program Leadership in Action on Sirius XM Business Radio. This is affiliated with Wharton, so you can listen to it online. And also the second faculty member that you will see in the videos and sessions or in this course is Kate Macy, PhD, and he's also co-host of this Sirius XM Business Radio. Great, great content there as well. So I really recommend you to check it out. He is a professor in Operations, Informations, and Decisions Department. So you see that there is some specific research that is needed to improve decision making, and your executive presence is required. And I will say that in a moment when I'll talk about the content a little bit, but expert knowledge is not enough. How you say it is just as important. And this is where KD comes to play as well, right? So he also is focusing on in his research on judgment under uncertainty, predictions and things like this. And all of this is still related to what we are talking about here. So, leading people, talking to people, or persuading people who don't report to you, this is where KD comes in and can help you. So here's the first module. Introduction, of course, but informal influence. And we're going to talk about, for instance, I picked the second bullet point, types of, and sources of power. Because, not everybody thinks that they are powerful when they are when they work in a big company, but they are. The power doesn't come from the title necessarily, right? It can come from your network position. It can come from your expertise. It can come from your seniority. It can come from your presence as well. So all of these things we'll talk about this. That's just a beginning, right? How can we leverage the sources of power that we may be having available on our disposal? And how to leverage informal channels and tools available to push your agenda forward. I will come back to this when we talk about networking a little bit. So sources of power, types of power, informal channels to push your agenda, and then the gap between technical competence, as I said, and a meaningful impact. A lot of people are technically very competent, but they are not taken seriously at work. So how can you fix this, right? How can you bridge that gap between the two? And of course, any sort of tools that or mindset that is needed to navigate this gap between expertise and impact. And many of you may have experienced that in your working life. So this will relate to you hopefully and resonate well with you. But we don't stop here. This is just the beginning. We'll give you tools how to get better. Second module is about leading with persuasive communication. So we'll talk about presence and poise and how to amplify those, how to amplify your narrative with them. We will talk about the value of team leadership and personal leadership, and at which point leadership makes the most significant difference, because that's related to the fact that you are a leader irrespective of your position in the organizational table, right? So you can be the leader even if you don't have the biggest title in the room, and that can also change then and work for you going down the line. Strengthening your leadership presence. As I said, everybody can improve in this. Nobody was born a leader. Nobody was born necessarily with a presence. Of course, some people have a better start than others, but there are certain strategies how you can improve your leadership presence. That includes also social media. That includes also working with others. Sometimes people say the more you give in, the more you get out of it. Similarly, you can coach others, mentor others when you are a senior leader, and this can be helpful for your leadership presence as well. So we'll talk about the fundamentals of your leadership narrative and how to craft and improve your leadership presence. And one last thing is, how do you communicate persuasively with those people who are senior to you? So your peers, the people who don't report to you necessarily, and higher ups, right? How do you persuade them? And this is quite critical and important in your career, obviously. So strengthening your leadership presence, module 3. The other thing is, a lot of people talk about networking, right? But what we will talk about here, and I'm sure Katie has done a lot of research on this. I know about that because I worked with him in the past. He can talk about the importance of diverse network. By being part of the diverse network can help you. Why can that help your position within an organization? There are different kinds of networks, and you can influence them. You can be part of very multiple ones. Some of them are feature strong and weak ties, and other ones redundant ties. So is this helpful, or are we going for the most efficient setup of the network? So that's strategic thinking, about networking. But at the same time, we need to stay true to ourselves. We need to stay authentic, right? So this is something that we will also focus on. So strategic networking really helps your career, but at the same time, stay truthful to your nature or authentic. Now, the other thing is, part of leadership is also talking to crowds, right? So we're not going to talk as much about public speaking, but we will definitely cover rhetoric, right? How do you use that rhetoric in persuasion? How do you adjust your style or presentation to the needs and to meet the needs and expectations of your audience? So you need to know who your audience is, and then there are certain strategies to persuade an audience. You cannot assume a friendly audience every time. So you need to obviously research them. You need to work on your skills and your tools, how to actually deliver your message to them the most efficiently and most persuasively. And the last thing is persuasively communicating your vision and strategy. That is related to organizational culture, organizational architecture, all of these things where We need to work within a big corporate, especially, but also in smaller corporations or smaller organizations with other people, and where people sit in the org structure that often gives them a head start when it comes to leadership and presence. But you can do better. You can, of course, work on this and use this to your advantage as well, using the informal channels, the formal channels, and the tools that you get here to work on your presence. Gail is asking if the course also covers how to respond in the moment. We can talk about this in live sessions as well, and that would be a nice case study as well, right? How to respond in the moment to what sort of issue or what sort of question, right? How to keep your head cool, perhaps, and things like this. So, look, this is an example of where through live sessions, through interactive sessions, we can tailor the program to your needs as much as you want, right? So you need to make sure that, of course, you submit your questions. Perhaps if you cannot join the live session, they are all recorded, and there will be slides provided if there are any, or transcripts. But the best thing is to be there and to ask your question, which comes back to how it will look like in the, from your day-to-day perspective. This will be bite-sized learnings, right? So there will be videos to watch. There will be plenty of them to watch, but every week there will be only one module. And generally speaking, these videos are not very long, right? So it's few minutes we're talking about, and there may be, 10 videos or so, or 15 videos, no more than that. In any case, we think that it should take you no more than 4 to 6 hours a week, and it's 6 weeks of content, as you've seen. We will focus on the real-world application. Yes, you'll have assignments to do on a weekly basis, quizzes. There will be Q&A forum, which is optional, but it's not graded, but assignments and quizzes, they will be. And you will have live sessions, and you can communicate with your course leader as well if you need any help. Pelumi, what time is the live session? We don't know yet, or we obviously are going to set it up once we get going, but generally speaking, we try to do it time zone friendly for everyone, right? So definitely it will work if you are in the Eastern time zone in the US, but also it should work for you if you are in Europe, which is going to be early afternoon or more evening in Asia as well. In any case, live sessions, again, are not the lectures, but they are complementary to the pre-recorded lectures. And if you miss them, there will be a recording, and there will be slides and transcripts provided to you, as I said. And you can also ask follow-up questions, and your course leader or facilitator will be there to answer those. So we run this course also several times in a year. So I will give you a link to the website where you can see when you want to join. But before we go there, let's have a look at the tangible outcome of your hard work that you will get after taking this course. And this will be the certificate of completion from the Wharton School. It's fully digital, but it's great because it's envisaging the background checks that sometimes people have to go through, right? So this will be very easy and smooth with this digital certificate. People share it on their LinkedIn, the people share it on their resume, but this is what you will get. You will not get the alumni status, but you will get this Wharton School completion certificate. Obviously, some people don't want that necessarily, but I would recommend that when you put so much work, time, and effort into this, then you go for the certificate. Yes, you already have in the chat also links to follow up. So if you want to talk about it a bit more, you can have a separate conversation one-on-one with an advisor. And you can have any questions or you can bring any questions to that call and talk about logistics or content again. There are also benefits when it comes to financing, such as flexible payment plan, or there are referral benefits if you refer other people to take this course. Companies also sponsor a lot of our learners, so we can facilitate that. Whatever you need in terms of paperwork, you will get. And there may be benefits also if you enroll as a group. Joseph is also asking if you're able to download webinars, live sessions for reference after the program is complete. Typically, the program is hosted on a dedicated course website where you need a platform, where you need a password, and you have access to that course website for 1 year from the start. So for 1 year from the start, you can go back to the website and watch the videos there. But when it comes to handouts or any sort of documents that are there, then those you can download. So you can keep them forever. But the videos, you need to go back and log in, but you can do it for 1 year from the start. So it's 6 weeks course, and then you have 1 year to rewatch the videos if you want to. So you see a QR code in front of me as well. So in case that this sounds great to you, you can just scan the QR code in front of me, or there is a link in the chat as well, and you can apply for the program there. In the chat, you also have a link to book a call with an advisor. You can still have a separate discussion, and they will hopefully answer all of your questions, so you can decide whether this is the right thing for you or not. Here it is again. So you have two things. Either schedule a call with an advisor if you still want to know more, or you can follow us on LinkedIn. And other than that, you see here is the QR code for registration. So register here if it's all clear, or here you schedule a call. Or if you think there are maybe other courses you want to know about, that's the last QR code as well. Cecilia, no worries. So thank you so much. So you see here links once again for an advisor here. You can book the course itself. So here, book the course. Here, an advisor, or follow us for more and more courses that are available. But once again, if I come back to this and I maybe look at the key outcomes of this program here. So key program takeaways, this is what you should be able to walk away with, right? Work on your mindset and behaviors that impact your executive presence. Understand how that's related to effective leadership. Understand the rhetorical strategy that can help you. Be more mindful of your networking plan and how to leverage it for yourself while still staying true to yourself. And of course, use all of this to construct a personal leadership narrative. Great question from Mariana. Is this course aimed at new leaders or more seasoned professionals? Generally speaking, we have leaders who are mid to senior. There are people who have generally 10 years of experience or more, but there are also some people who come out straight from college to our program. So there could be learnings for everyone. As I said, anybody can improve when it comes to executive presence, but generally speaking, it's an executive program. So you will see that your peers have some great experience to bring and to share the examples from real life as well. So Michael says, how can I confirm if my application and payment were received? I believe that you simply scan the QR code, you fill in your details, follow the links to get a payment, and you should get the confirmation instantly. All right. So Romina is saying she's already booked, so that's fine. Okay. All right. So look, I understand this is this is a program about soft skills, but again, another cliche is that the soft skills are the hardest. But here the message is that if you look at the Wharton executive education angle in all of this, it's research-based programs, right? So when you look at the faculty again, I'll flip through it. Michael Lucime and Katie Macy, they are fantastic, fantastic speakers. They do have presence, but they also have done a lot of research how you can improve on your executive presence, which is a number 2 skill in the leadership traits that, according to Gartner, you should have. So coming back to what can we do next? It's either to apply, so you have some links in the chat, or you scan the QR code here. Or if you want to know more, you can book a call with an advisor and have a one-on-one discussion. So someone's asking, I'll be away for 2 weeks in September with limited access. I trust it won't impact me. Yes, I believe you can accommodate this. You can also pick a different start date. As I said, we're running this program several times in a year. But you can, of course, catch up the weeks when you come back. But of course, there will be a lot more work. So a lot more work. So be prepared for this, right? I think Linda's asking if we can work out in groups as well. I believe so, but on the other hand, in the end, your submission should be individual. Parol, what is the top skill? If this is a second top skill for leadership, out of scope, let's look for that Gartner research report, but a great, great question. Or in any case, you can go into the chat and just click on the link there. So in the chat, you have a click. So you have a link to apply for the program or to schedule a call with an advisor. All right, Magdalena, that's no worries, no problem. So any other final questions? All right, so it looks like it's clear. So once again, in the chat, you can either book a call with an advisor to talk about it more, or you can just register, download the program and the registration details that you need to provide, and then we will see you in the program. So thank you so much. You see it in the chat again. You have QR codes on the slides. Hopefully they work for everybody else.